It's always hilarious to me when people go on social media and they praise a certain gaming experience, and then later on they admit that they never actually gave it a chance. They never picked up their controller and completed the first chapter and gave it a shot. They're simply praising it because it pushes an ideology they support, and that is exactly what is happening here because South of Midnight's advertisement on behalf of Brown Girl Gamers, a DEI group looking to grift off women, did an interview with Kashana Gray, an expert who demands representation in gaming, where they admit they shilled for this title, but they never actually tried it. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I play a lot of controversial games on this channel. I played Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Flintlock The Siege of Dawn, Unknown Nine Awakening, Concord, Dragon Age of Veilguard, and I always get people saying, why are you trying this? Why are you monetarily supporting these companies? Which I completely understand the mentality of you shouldn't give money to people who hate you, but on the flip side, it's part of my job to play video games. And imagine if I sat here and talked about games that I wasn't actually trying. I would be as bad as these people. That's why I try to stream so many titles on this game. I've streamed over 200 games now, which is really cool. And sometimes we get the surprising hitters that are actually good. And of course, I play a lot of amazing experiences on this channel. Lies of Peace, Stellar Blade, the list goes on. Though it's individuals like this one, Kashana Gray, who really tick me off. They boast about experiences and then they admit that they don't actually play them because these people aren't fucking gamers. It's like the individuals who work at outlets like Kotaku or IGN or Polygon, they don't actually like video games. They don't care about video games, and that's why I would never trust them to give me information on video games. And now Savvy has whipped up this thread. It will be linked down below. But she says the South of Midnight advertisement on behalf of Brown Girl Gamers, a DEI group looking to grift off women, does an interview with Kashana Gray, a DEI expert who demands representation in gaming, and a month after this tweet was made, admits to not even playing the game South of Midnight, despite being a huge fan of the genre. Now, I get that not every single person can play every single thing, but when you specifically talk about a game and a genre and it is used as an example, you probably should have at least tested it out. It's not like it's a 30 or 50-hour game. It is very short. I completed it in only 3 streams. I completed it in less than like 15 hours. It was not that long of an experience. Now, first of all, you have to acknowledge Brown Girl Gamers, not to be confused with Black Girl Gamers, a group that tries to raise money based off of gender and skin color and sexuality. Their social media has 5,278 followers, and it says a leading digital community for women and femmes of color in gaming and tech, live content, workshops, consulting, and their global HQ is in Detroit. They post a lot about video games and movies and books, which is fine, right? Like, you can have a community where you talk about whatever you feel like, but you probably shouldn't be interviewing people that are not actually familiar with the content you expect them to talk about. Now, I honestly don't know that much about Kashona Gray, so I had to do a little bit of digging into this person, and I don't know what the fuck is going on in Michigan right now, but this individual claims their name is Dr. Gray. Not a real doctor. They are a professor of racial justice and technology in the School of Information at the University of Michigan. She is the director of the Intersectional Tech Lab, and they have a very long list of their alleged achievements here. But the reason why I bring up Michigan is because I'm currently working on a bit of a series where I'm going to be taking certain books and articles and just pieces of literature in general written by individuals about the gaming industry. And the first book I'm going to be doing is called Gaming Sexism. I'm going to be doing a bit of a analysis on that book. But this individual, Amanda Coate, is an associate professor and director of the Serious Games Certificate in the Department of Media and Information at Michigan State University. Her work focuses on the industry and culture of games with an emphasis on areas such as gender identity and representation, game development and labor, and collegiate esports. So she talks about like diversity and gender discrimination and sexism and misogyny that's game related, which is BS, but we're just talking about people who, yeah, want to ultimately make money based off of somebody's gender and their skin color and their sexuality, and I think that that's pretty gross in my opinion. Going back to this, though, the individual Kashona Gray getting absolutely exposed, a month after this tweet was made, this individual admitted to not even playing the game South of Midnight despite being a huge fan of the genre. Not only do they refuse to show up for the things they claim to like, Kashona here has been a grifter for a while and is what I consider one of the big five in terms of the lower level movement. She's no CEO of Microsoft, but she certainly has influenced them. Of course, we all know who Anita Sarkeesian is. She did irreparable damage, but Coate certainly has her own impressive resume of grifting, nabbing a whopping $669,000 of your American tax dollars for studying extremists and terrorist recruitment in gaming. And the topic was so important that once the DHS contract ended, she began writing about Taylor Swift fans instead, but still actively tries to fuck the industry. So yeah, this Kashona Gray individual is somebody who is deep in the Gamergate territory. The conference, which was Alt F4 Gamergate, seeks to revisit the social and cultural implications of Gamergate on its 10-year anniversary, to be held over 4 days in September 2024, so this had already passed. This gathering of academics, designers, and community participants is designed to extend current conversations of game development and game studies beyond the existing heteronormative, and you've even got them going on about the afterlives of Gamergate, so they're just grifters through and through, and I think that it is hilarious that these people are now getting exposed because they constantly sit here and say, you need to support these games, you need to support, in this case, Black creators, you need to support new, unique content. And I do like the idea of new, unique, original content being made, and I thought that South of Midnight actually had something going for it. I really enjoyed the art style. I thought a lot of the bosses were really cool. At times, the bosses even felt very similar to like a Lollipop Chainsaw. It felt very arcadey. At times, I just felt that the story was poorly executed. The final boss fight was just a nightmare because it was so disappointing, and it was an extremely short experience. It ended up having really terrible gameplay, very repetitive after like 2 or 3 boss fights, and in general, I just felt like, yeah, it was an underwhelming experience overall, and clearly I'm not alone in that. Now, I know that it had gone on Game Pass day one, and I'm sure most people played it that way, and we don't have console sales numbers, but developers still need individual copies of games to sell in order for it to be seen as a success. And at release, it peaked with 1,438 people, and right now in game, there's 133. The Access Media also had praised this experience because there are things like skippable boss fights in it. They're even trying to talk about how we might be headed into a skippable boss fight utopia because Death Stranding 2 also added that. So there's a lot of media coverage surrounding this that is positive when really these individuals have not even played it or experienced it. And I love seeing these DEI grifters get absolutely exposed. Hey, I might be sitting here talking about them, but at least I'm fucking playing them and giving them a chance. Maybe they turn around and they be good. Or maybe they are complete and utter trash. So yeah, this person is getting absolutely wrecked on social media over this. There's a lot of people who are saying this is why you can never trust individuals like this. And Savvy has a really fantastic thread here. But there are lots of people saying things like they are the real tourists. Activists don't play games. They just falsely accuse and destroy things, usually because that's what they're paid to do. I mean, that's what cultural Marxists do. You've got people saying, I'm going to start a group called White Boy Gamers. I hope you will all support me on my bold and brave new journey. Just like how they don't even buy the games they shame us for not liking. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this. I'm curious to see if this individual, this fake doctor, ends up making posts posts on social media about how they're being attacked or harassed. And of course, do not go and send them any hatred. Like, do not interact with them. You're only giving them extra clicks, which leads to potential popularity for them. But that's why I'm using like screenshots and archives, and we can sit here and point and laugh. So I'll keep my eye on this to see if they respond. I highly doubt it though. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.